Okay, class, example 9 in lesson 3.4. We're still solving for x, and so we have log of x plus log of x minus 9 equals 1. So I've got log plus a log, and hopefully we're good with combining that. Remember, when they're being added, we can combine them by multiplying. So we get log of x times x minus 9, which is equal to 1. And I'm going to simplify what's in my parentheses there. So that's log of, distribute this, and we get x squared minus 9x equals 1. Well, now we have 1 log is equal to a number, and so we can change it to exponential. Now this log doesn't have a base written, so what base is it if it's just log? That's our common log, which means it has a base of 10. So when I plug this, put this in exponential form, I have my a, which is 10, to the y, which is 1, equals x, which is the x squared minus 9x. So I can simplify that 10 to the first, and I'm just going to flip this over here. So I get x squared minus 9x equals 10 to the first is 10. And because you have that x squared in that x term, you need to get it equal to 0. So let's move that 10 over. And when I do that, I get x squared minus 9x minus 10 equals 0. And then we can solve this quadratic equation. It is factorable, so I'm going to just go ahead and factor it. You could use quadratic formula or completing the square, whichever way you want to. So we get x and x. Well, multiplies the 10 and subtracts the 9. Well, 10 and 1. Biggest number first, you can bring down your minus. Negative 10 times what gives me a negative 10? Well, positive 1. Set them both equal to 0 and solve. And so we end up with x equals 10 and x equals negative 1. Now don't necessarily just cancel out that negative 1 yet, because you can have a negative x value just as long as when you plug it back in, you don't get a negative answer. That you're not taking the log of a negative number. So let's go through and let's check. And I'm going to change colors here to do my check. So for my check, let's first check when x is 10, since I wrote it first. Alright, so my first one is what? Log of x, which means it's just log of 10. And we can take log of 10, so that's good. My second log there is log of x minus 9. So when I plug that in, I get log of 10 minus 9, which is just log of 1. And we can take log of 1 as well, because 1 is positive. So 10 works out. 10 is definitely one of my solutions. So then let's do our check when x is negative 1. So my first one is log of x. So when I plug that in, I get log of negative 1. Uh-oh. Can we take log of a negative number? No. And since we can't take the log of a negative number, and negative 1 gave me a negative number when I plugged it in, negative 1 cannot be my solution. Therefore, x equals 10 is the only solution.